They roamed the ice with silent power, built for survival, driven by instinct. But when these apex predators cross paths with humans, the line between wonder and danger disappears in an instant. From remote roads in Russia to icy coastlines in Canada, from near misses to narrow escapes, these are real encounters captured on camera when polar bears go on a rampage. Moments where a single mistake could cost a life. This is not fiction. This is nature. Uncaged. You're watching When Polar Bears Go on a Rampage, caught on camera. A polar bear suddenly appears at a coal mining site in Norway and charges toward a man. With the power to sprint at 25 miles per hour, polar bears are far faster than humans, who average just 12. In this icy terrain, running is not just useless, it's a deadly mistake. But in a rare stroke of luck, the man reaches his snowmobile just in time and escapes. A polar bear suddenly appears in Yamal, Siberia. One of the onlookers seems to throw food toward it, a fatal mistake that could make the bear refuse to leave. But what happens next is even more reckless. A man begins walking toward the bear. Approaching a polar bear is extremely dangerous. These apex predators are powerful, fast, and capable of attacking without warning if they feel curious or threatened. At this distance, if the bear had chosen to strike, the man wouldn't have had a chance to escape.
Ёбаный в рот, блядь! Ты чё, отец?
Fortunately, this time, the polar bear was only bluffing. A polar bear suddenly appears, approaching hikers in Ontario, Canada. Shouting can sometimes deter a polar bear, but it's a risky tactic best used only when standing your ground calmly is the safest option. A cameraman takes shelter as a polar bear approaches, curious at first, then fixated. The bear stares for a moment before lunging at the door, testing it with calculated force. This apex predator begins probing from different angles, searching for the structure's weakest point. Unlike other bear species, the polar bear is a true predator, built for the kill. Life in the harsh Arctic has shaped them into efficient, aggressive, and tireless hunters. Every part of the shelter is reinforced, but if the bear were to strike from above, the same way it crushes sea ice, the outcome could be disastrous. Weighing up to 1,300 pounds, with powerful shoulders and forelimbs, a polar bear can deliver blows exceeding 5,000 newtons. Its claws are massive, sharp, and devastating. Moments later, the bear rises on its hind legs, gazing down at the protective glass. If it chose to climb, there would be little anyone could do. Fortunately, this bear knows when to give up and leaves the cameraman with an encounter he will never forget. Few sights are more dangerous in the Arctic than a mother polar bear with cubs. Get too close, and she won't hesitate to defend them. While riding their snowmobiles across the frozen Arctic, a massive male polar bear spots them and takes sudden interest. Without hesitation, the giant predator begins to approach, step by deliberate step. Polar bears, especially males, are naturally curious. Unlike females with cubs, who act out of defense, adult males can be actively predatory, especially when food is scarce. In remote regions where human presence is rare, polar bears often show little fear. Instead of retreating, they investigate or confront. In situations like this, starting a snowmobile may scare the bear off, but it doesn't always work. That's why, when traveling through polar bear territory, carrying bear spray or a flare gun is essential. Approaching a polar bear with a snowmobile is far from ideal. But in emergencies, and if done with extreme caution, it can sometimes drive the animal away. Still, it remains a high-risk maneuver, one that should only be attempted when no other option exists. In a chilling encounter in Norway, a polar bear attacked a car. Experts advise staying inside, keeping windows sealed, and remaining calm. These predators are incredibly strong, and even a vehicle may not guarantee safety. The polar bear approaches its prey with a calm, silent expression, relying on stillness to hunt effectively in the quiet vastness of the Arctic. As an ambush predator, even the slightest sound can ruin its chance to strike, and those fooled by its gentle-looking face may face a deadly consequence. This chilling footage, captured around 1987, shows a woman feeding a polar bear. At first, the bear appears calm, even non-aggressive. But this simple act is a fatal mistake. By feeding the bear, she unknowingly teaches it that humans are a source of food. From that point on, the bear stops hunting its natural prey, like seals, and begins actively seeking out humans. And when a polar bear realizes that people are neither a threat nor off limits, it grows bolder. Eventually, if food is no longer offered, that same bear may not just beg, it may attack. Unknowingly, the film crew finds themselves surrounded, not by one, but by 13 polar bears. One by one, the bears emerge from the icy wilderness, most of them mothers with cubs in tow. In such an open, exposed environment, tracking the movements of so many apex predators becomes nearly impossible. Polar bears are highly territorial and can cover vast distances in search of food, especially as sea ice continues to shrink. Several bears begin moving closer. Then, without a warning, a polar bear charges, fast and aggressive, shattering the silence of the Arctic. Fortunately, the crew remains calm. Their experience in the field allows them to deter the bear without escalating the encounter. This encounter took place in Churchill, Canada, known as the polar bear capital of the world, where each fall, hundreds of polar bears gather along the shores, waiting for the sea ice to return. Though this bear appeared calm, that peaceful demeanor can turn ferocious the moment an opportunity presents itself. A young polar bear spots the film crew and begins to approach, drawn by curiosity. Aware of the potential danger, the team quickly takes shelter inside their vehicle. But the bear's interest only grows, and it edges closer to the car. In moments like this, stillness is survival. Even the slightest movement can trigger an unpredictable response. Starting the engine becomes a calculated decision. The sudden roar of the motor is often enough to startle a bear and send it retreating without the need for confrontation. But timing is everything. If the engine is started too late, once the bear is agitated or begins to make contact, the risk escalates dramatically. In Russia, a mother bear and her cubs suddenly appear and charge at a man approaching a container. Mother bears are deeply protective. Even a slight threat to their cubs can trigger a sudden, violent response, making any close approach a potentially fatal mistake. Fortunately, the mother bear and her cubs were eventually driven away without further incident. As the film crew takes a short break in the heart of the Arctic, an unexpected sound breaks the silence. A massive male polar bear suddenly appears at the window, staring in, curious and unblinking. It's a chilling moment. Only a thin pane of glass stands between the crew and one of the Arctic's most powerful carnivores. Polar bears can easily shatter windows with a single swipe or bite. Their strength is unmatched among land predators. The footage cuts off, but thankfully, the crew is prepared. In extreme environments like this, carrying protection is not just precaution, it's survival. A terrifying encounter unfolds as a man comes face to face with a massive polar bear on a remote road. In moments like this, running is the worst mistake. Instead, slowly back away while keeping your eyes on the bear. If it approaches, raise your arms, speak firmly, and make loud noises to show you're not easy prey. Those were some of the most intense polar bear rampages ever captured on camera. Which moment left you holding your breath? Tell us in the comments below. If you found this video thrilling, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you can never miss another heart-pounding encounter. Craving more wild moments from the edge of survival? Check out one of these next videos. We've lined up 2 jaw-dropping stories you won't believe.